So the 116th Congress is in session until January 2021, when the 117th Congress will start. There's lots of new faces. This is a picture of the freshmen in Congress, 10 new elected senators and 101 in the House of Representatives, which is a pretty big shift in a body. But there's still a lot of trends that we see that are changing, but changing very slowly. The typical member of Congress is somebody with a college degree or higher. It's somebody who comes from the professional class, lots of law degrees, lots of previous elected service, overwhelmingly Christian, overwhelmingly white, overwhelmingly male, overwhelmingly straight. There are some other characteristics that we see repeated. It's certainly an institution controlled by older white men. That's changing, but changing very slowly. The entrenched electives and incumbents, people who have their job, getting their job back, is one of the big problems facing change in Congress. The Republican Party, more than the Democratic Party, has at least a problem recruiting people who aren't men as a result. So the 116th Congress, there's lots of new faces and a number of firsts getting elected to Congress. 101 new members of the House of Representatives and 10 in the Senate. So that's big changes. But still, Congress is overwhelmingly college educated, with people coming from law and previous elected office. And those are not, these characteristics that I'm pointing out are not a problem, except when you look at, does Congress represent the average American? And when the average American has not graduated from college, when the average American does not have a graduate degree, you need to consider whether or not representation is really happening. And particularly the demographics of a body that is overwhelmingly white and male and straight, representing a country that is not. When you have a nation that is overwhelmingly diverse being legislated by, governed by, a body that is overwhelmingly older white men, there becomes conflict, and that conflict can play out in our society. When the last Congress announced the Republicans controlled the House, and they, in the 115th Congress, announced their new committee chairman, and every single one of them was a white man. There becomes the perception of not being a party open to diversity of our nation. So that's changing, but it's changing very slowly. In the House of Representatives, the oldest member was born in 1930. The youngest member, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, was born in 1989, so she is the youngest member in the House. But most of the members are older, and so millennial representation is still relatively rare, even as those millennials hit their 40s. The Senate is not much better when it comes to representation. The oldest, Dianne Feinstein and Chuck Grassley, were born in 1933. The youngest, Josh Hawley, born in 1979, so a full decade older than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Millionaires in Congress, when you look at, across the country, very few millionaires in our country, but an overwhelming majority of the United States Senate. Mitt Romney is the richest senator, but there's lots of millionaire senators. and Gil Cisneros, our own congressman from North Orange County, is the richest member of the House of Representatives. He actually won the lottery, believe it or not. And so, he'll say that his wealth is different from other millionaires in Congress because he won it by chance. But that's the makeup of the 116th Congress.